Hi guys, we just got done with our video chat. We got cut off. The free version only lasts for 40 minutes and we started our 10 o'clock appointment a little bit early because we were all so excited. So we got cut off a little earlier. I might have to buy a subscription so we can talk for longer than what we were or what we have. Today's lesson is lesson 94. I have my trusty little whiteboard here. So lesson 94. And it's about writing fractions and decimals as percent part 2. So we've already done this. So here's the part that we've already done. If you have 3/5, and I hope you have your book open when I'm talking because it's a good way to keep track of what I'm saying. So if you have 3/5, we know we can get a percent by easily taking, we multiplied 5 times what to get 100. So we multiplied it times 20. Okay. So if we multiply that one by 20, we have to multiply the top, we know, by 20. So that gives us 60, right? So we know we can find our percent, which is 60%, and our decimal, remember we can say 60 over 100, or we can reduce this and go 6/10, but we know our decimal is 0.6 or 60, all means the same thing. This is part 1. We already know how to do this, okay? What you're really doing is multiplying, it's showing you this multiplying by 100%. So if you had 3/5, the way you would do that is if you're going to multiply it by 100%, you would take that and you would go 100% times, would make 100% over 1. And then you're going to get 300% over 5, and then you do a division problem, which is 300% divided by 5, and you know you're going to get 60%. Sorry, I'm running out of room on my board. Okay? So really that's what we're doing up here too. This is just a longer version, and it's not, and you need to know this because it's not going to be as easy, okay? You can also find a percent by multiplying a decimal. So if you have 0.375 times 100%, we can easily find out, go from a decimal to a percent by multiplying it by 100%. So the same thing, we can do this in our head. How many times can you see this? How many times do you need to move your decimal? So there's 2 zeros here, so we're going to move it twice. We're multiplying, so our number is going to get bigger. So we start where our decimal, we go 1, 2, put our decimal in, and our percent for 100% is 37.5%. Okay? All right, if you guys will hold on for me for 1 second, I'm going to fix this so there's no glare. There is a big window in my kitchen, and we get a glare off it pretty easy. Sorry, I promise I'm coming back, and here I am. Okay, thanks. Next time, I'll do better. All right, so that's how you go from a decimal to a percent. You multiply by 100%. So if you have a fraction, you multiply by 100%. If you don't know how to find the percent, and if you have a decimal, you multiply by 100% also. Okay, so let's look at example 1. It says change 1/3 to a percent. So if you have 1/3 and you're going to change it to a percent, we multiply by 100%. So multiply by 100%, okay, and that's going to get us, so we're going to put this over 1. That's going to get us 100% all over 3. That's a 3. Okay, so now we know this is a division problem. So now we take 100% and we divide it by 3. 3 goes into 10 3 times. 1 left over, bring down your 0. And then 3 goes into 10 another 3 times with 9 here. Subtract, and we have 1 left over. So you write that as a mixed number, and your percent is 33 1/3%. Okay? Do not do the repeating decimal yet. You don't know enough yet to do the repeating decimal. Okay, so if you're finding it, it should be a mixed number. Your remainder should be a mixed number. The next example says write 1.2 as a percent. So if we have 1.2, again, how are we going to do that? We're going to multiply by 100%. So we multiply by 100%, and we don't have to do this like the long way, okay? So if you have 1.2, so how many zeros? 2. How many times do we move our decimal? Twice. And we fill in this empty spot. So our percent is going to be 120%, okay? So 120%. Makes sense so far? And I can't write very well on this fun board, but 120%. Okay? Let's look at example 3. Now, example 3 is going to throw you all for a loop because you can do it 2 ways. Okay? It says write 2, oops, my marker's running out, 2 1/4 as a percent. Now, you can do this 2 ways. You can divide this up. You can take the whole number, multiply it by 100%, take the fraction, multiply that by 100%, and then add your answers together. Or you can change this into a mixed number and multiply it by 100% and see what we get. We'll do it both ways, okay? First thing we're going to do is multiply this by 100% and this by 100%, okay? 2 times 100% is 200%, okay? 1/4 times 100% is equal to 100% over 4, okay? And that is a division problem. 4 goes into 100 25 times, so that's 25%, okay? So back here, we have 200% and we have 25%. We are going to add these two together. And so 2 1/4 equals 225%, okay? So that's one way to do it. You can separate the whole number and the fraction out, figure out them separately, and then put them back together. Or we can make this into a mixed number. So 4 times 2 is 8, plus 1 is 9, all over 4. So our mixed number is 9/4. Multiply that by 100%. So we put 100 over 1, and we're going to get 900%. I'm not very good writing upside down, but I'm sure you're getting tired of me and moving this board every 5 seconds. All right, so now you have 900 over 4. That's a division problem, okay? So now you take 900% divided by 4, okay? You're going to get a 2 here. That's an 8. Bring down your 1. That's a 0. Again, 2, 8, 2. Bring down your 0, and that's a 5. So you get 225%. However works best for you, you can do it either way, okay? So, and sometimes maybe one is easier than the other. I don't know. It's up to you, okay? Same thing where it says write 2 1/6 as a percent, okay? So 2 1/6. So I'm going to change this into a mixed number. So we have 12 plus 1, which is 13, all over 6, okay? Multiply that by 100%. And you're going, 100 over 1. And you're going to get 1300%, which is big, all over 6, which you know is a division problem. So you're going to have 1300 divided by 6, okay? My pen is running out. So you're going to have 2 here, which is 12. You have 1, bring down your 0. This is 1, this is 6, this is 4. Bear with me. All right, and so 6 goes into 40 6 times, right? I can't write down here because that's 36, and you have a remainder of 4. So you have a remainder of 4/6. Now I have to reduce these. So my final answer is going to be 216 and 2/3%. A lot of work, right? We could have separated this and done 200%, found 1/6, which is actually 16 and 2/3%, and added them together. It's up to you, okay? And then let's look at example 5. Example 5 says 20 of the 30 students on the bus were girls. What percent of the students on the bus were girls? So we have 20 over 30, okay? You can do this 2 ways. I would reduce it if I were going to do it. So I would make this, since we can easily reduce this, I would make this 2/3. And then I would find the percent for 2/3. So you multiply by 100% over 1. So that's going to get you 200% divided by 3. Okay? So now we go down here, do our division problem. This will go in here, is it 6 times? Which is 18. 20 again, which is another 6 times, which is 18. And I write the remainder as a fraction. So my answer will be 66 and 2/3%. Okay? So, when you look at the lesson practice, which I'm not going to do all of it today, remember when you do the decimal that you're going to multiply by 100%. You can do that in your head. You can just move the decimal. Your number's going to get bigger because you're multiplying. That makes something bigger. Okay? So you're going to move the decimal 2 times to find the percent of a decimal. So in A through I, you shouldn't have to do any work. You're just going to move the decimal. Okay? J through Q, you're going to have to multiply by 100% and then divide to find your answer. Make sure you write your remainder as a reduced fraction and not as a repeating decimal. Okay? If you have any questions, call me. Call me or text me. Ask me in some way. I can help you. I can show you how. We can FaceTime. It doesn't matter. I would love to help you. So, off you go. Good luck, and I will see you guys on Thursday.